All right, we have a breaking news coming in from Meghalaya. Well, startling facts have come to the fore concerning the violence that broke out outside the Chief Minister's office in Tura last evening. Well, Meghalaya DGP LR Bishnoi made a sensational revelation that the violence was a pre-planned conspiracy wherein arsonists aimed at physically harming Chief Minister Conrad Sangma. In fact, suspicions are rife that arsonists also wanted to take the quote-unquote extreme step indicating a possible assassination bid. A total of 26 persons have been identified for provoking this. Well, this was informed by DGP of Meghalaya just a short while back, and of the 26, the DGP said 19 have been arrested so far. The DGP said money and liquor was also distributed to provoke the situation.
So in the whole actions, we have during the post-incident investigation stage, the Tura police, they found that it was the pre-planned conspiracy to attack Honorable Chief Minister and to damage him physically. Why they are saying like this? Because they gathered clinching evidence that money was distributed on 23rd July to some of the youths to create the scene violence there on the sites. Secondly, on the 23rd July, the many bottles of liquors were distributed to the youth, and the many youth, they came with the plastic jerrycans full of the kerosene along with matchboxes and the lighters, and the many stones were lying there, and the tent were pitched, so that is why the bamboos were also available. And on the spots, they started giving inciting speeches where the Honorable Chief Minister was abused and threatened. And they provoked the crowd to cause physical damage to Honorable Chief Ministers, and even they insisted that we can go for the extreme step like murder, etc. So these kinds of the actions of the violent youth indicated that it was a pre-planned conspiracy to cause physical damage to Honorable Chief Ministers. The police maintained restraints for a couple of hours, and even knowing that they are causing huge damage to our vehicles, police did not decide to go for firing to avoid the casualty of the other peaceful youth who were there and taking part in the agitations. So in the whole actions, we have during the post-incident investigation stage, the Tura police, they found that it was the pre-planned conspiracy to attack Honorable Chief Minister and to damage him physically. Why they are saying like this? Because they gathered clinching evidence that money was distributed on 23rd July to some of the youths to create the scene violence there on the sites. Secondly, on the 23rd July, the many bottles of liquors were distributed to the youth, and the many youth, they came with the plastic jerrycans full of the kerosene along with matchboxes and the lighters, and the many stones were lying there, and the tent were pitched, so that is why the bamboos were also available. And on the spots, they started giving inciting speeches where the Honorable Chief Minister was abused and threatened. And they provoked the crowd to cause physical damage to Honorable Chief Ministers, and even they insisted that we can go for the extreme step like murder, etc. So these kinds of the actions of the violent youth indicated that it was a pre-planned conspiracy to cause physical damage to Honorable Chief Ministers. The police maintained restraints for a couple of hours, and even knowing that they are causing huge damage to our vehicles, police did not decide to go for firing to avoid the casualty of the other peaceful youth who were there and taking part in the agitations.
All right, we have first reactions from Chief Minister Conrad Sangma speaking exclusively to Northeast Live. Let's listen in.
I'm now joined by the Chief Minister of Meghalaya, Mr. Conrad Sangma himself. Mr. Chief Minister, the Meghalaya DGP has said that yesterday's attack, yesterday's violence was absolutely pre-planned, and whoever was indulging in this violence had basically wanted to target you, even to the extent of taking some extreme steps. Would you like to comment on that?
No, I mean, that is for the security agencies to assess the situation. That's something I don't think I'll be able to comment on. But yes, definitely, as I said, when you look at the whole situation after the discussions went in a very, very positive way with the organizations, and they had themselves said it that they were quite satisfied and they wanted to discuss, other things further. After that, for an incident like that to happen was actually completely unexpected. And so therefore, whatever is behind that I really cannot say right now, because I'm sure the investigations will come out and will get the picture better.
Right.
But it's difficult for me to comment on that.
Right. Now, we have also seen that, among the 18 to 20 people who have been arrested, there were members or cadres of the two political parties. One is the BJP and the other is the TMC. Now, what does this signify, according to you?
No, I mean, there were certain candidates who contested from certain political parties. The candidates, some of them were present. Some have been continuously, in touch with the organizations they visited, and some of the members of these organizations have also some connections with these candidates. So, as I said, it all is based on whatever actions to be taken. I have been very clear with everybody that it has to be on the basis of only evidence, proper evidence, and proper procedures. So all those things have to be seen. So I leave it to the agencies. They should do a complete thorough investigation. And whatever facts are there, action should be taken against whoever is responsible, irrespective of what organization or who they are or who they belong to.
Finally, is your government ready to look into the demands of these agitating groups? Are you going to talk to them?
So I have already spoken to them, and my whole purpose of going yesterday to meet them was to actually discuss everything with them. So I have always kept an open mind, and it's not only with them, with all organizations that come forward. I have always, in my last 6 years, in fact, I've always told all organizations that it is only through dialogue that we can find solutions. So we should discuss. I cannot say yes or no at any given point in time.
Right.
But obviously, if we don't talk and don't discuss, and if we don't find ways, we'll not be able to move forward. So therefore, I have always encouraged discussion, and debate and dialogue to find out how we can, come to some kind of conclusion.
Are you back in Shillong now?
No, I'm very much still in Garo Hills in Tura.
Okay.
As per my original program, and that is going to. And as per my program, I'm supposed to go back to Shillong tomorrow, which I will be doing tomorrow.
Mr. Conrad Sangma, thank you once again for speaking to Northeast Live.
Thank you.
All right, now I'm being joined live with our editor-in-chief, Wasbir Hussain, from the newsroom. Yes, Wasbir, startling facts have come to the fore on the Tura violence. Well, it was a pre-planned conspiracy to attack Chief Minister Conrad Sangma, Wasbir.
Yes, this is indeed a sensational disclosure by Meghalaya DGP, Mr. L.R. Bishnoi, addressing a news conference a short while ago in Shillong. Mr. L.R. Bishnoi said that yesterday's attack outside the Chief Minister's office in Tura was a pre-planned attack. It was a pre-planned development, and it was basically aimed at targeting Chief Minister Conrad Sangma to the extent of taking extreme steps, including murder. That is the word. These are the words that L.R. Bishnoi, the Meghalaya DGP, has used. Now, big question is, was yesterday's attack an attempt to possibly assassinate Conrad Sangma, the Chief Minister? That is the big question. It will be a subject of intense investigation by security agencies right now. Now, what we are also hearing is that, according to L.R. Bishnoi, who said at that press conference that money was distributed to a section of people who are indulging in that arson and violence, and that liquor, alcohol was supplied to some of the youths who were indulging in that violence yesterday, and there were kerosene in jerrycans, where kerosene and other inflammable materials, with matches, and everything was ready. So it was a pre-planned attack. That's what the DGP of Meghalaya, Mr. L.R. Bishnoi, has said. Now, this is a sensational disclosure by the Meghalaya DGP, Mr. L.R. Bishnoi. Obviously, when the DGP makes a press conference, this is based on evidence that they have already collected. Now, about 18 people have already been arrested, including members of some political parties. So, this also raises sharp questions as to why these members of political parties were present in that at that time when there was a lot of arson going on, were they themselves indulging in the arson and violence. Of course, the police must have arrested them on the basis of video evidence which they had gathered already from that location. Now several vehicles were damaged, and ambulances were damaged, and window panes were broken with stone pelting by the mob outside the Chief Minister's office in Tura. The Chief Minister Conrad Sangma was holed up for several hours in that office in Tura, the Chief Minister's office, where he was holding discussion with some civil society groups who were raising certain demands, and it was also decided that there will be another meeting in Shillong with the entire cabinet and other officials around August 8th or 9th. So when in the middle of these discussions, this violence had taken place, people started pelting stones, shouted slogans, and attacked vehicles outside. And now this sensational statement coming from the DGP that it was a pre-planned attack aimed at harming the Chief Minister Conrad Sangma, physically targeting Chief Minister Conrad Sangma, and possibly it was even an assassination bid by those indulging in violence. Now the big question is, was there any organized was it an organized crime? Were there any people behind those youths who were indulging in this violence? Who are the kingpin? Who are the masters of this whole game? Who executed this plan? So this will be a matter of big investigations by the security agencies. Priya.
Right, we also have our Chief of Bureau Arindam Das joining us live from Tura.
Arindam Das is joining me from Tura. Arindam, the DGP of Meghalaya, L.R. Bishnoi, has said that it was a pre-planned attack yesterday. Money was distributed few days ago, liquor was distributed few days ago, and the objective of those who indulged in violence was to physically target Chief Minister Conrad Sangma, and even to the extent of taking extreme steps like murder. These are the words of L.R. Bishnoi. What are you picking up? Arindam, can you hear me? Well, Arindam cannot hear me, but this is the...
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes. Now the Meghalaya DGP, L.R. Bishnoi, has said that it was a pre-planned attack, that the money was distributed, liquor was distributed a few days ago, and the arsonist ultimately wanted to target Conrad Sangma, the Chief Minister, physically harm him to the extent of murder. This is what the DGP of Meghalaya said.
That's right, Wasbir. This is the version which we are getting from the morning since we took the interview of DC of West Garo Hills, Jagdish Chelani. He also said to us that it was a pre-motivated attack which was done with a political motive. And after that, I had the opportunity to speak to the Chief Minister also, and I categorically asked him, don't you think that it was an attack on you? He said, yes, probably it was an attack on him because the crowd, the way it started vandalizing, the way it started setting ablaze all the vehicles in that area, and also clashing with the police. So right now the big statement has come from the top cop of Meghalaya, L.R. Bishnoi, and he has said that yes, it was planned to target the Chief Minister of Meghalaya, Conrad Sangma. So this is a big statement which has come, and in fact as it has been said that it is
now,
a politically motivated
yes, Arindam,
and
has the security of the Chief Minister being beefed up? What security measures, additional security measures do you see around the Chief Minister, Conrad Sangma?
Well, I have asked this question to the DC of West Garo Hills regarding yesterday's attack, and he has said that in fact during the attack also the Chief Minister had an adequate security cover and no way that they were able to reach near him. And today also we have gone to his residence in Tura and we have seen that the security cover which he has, the normal security cover, the category of security cover which he gets, that was already in place. So that is the security cover that's been given to the Chief Minister.
Okay, Orindam, don't go away. Stand by. We are going for a short commercial break. We'll be right back.
अब बनो सिर्फ यार से सुपरस्टार एवरी डे विद द वाइडेस्ट रेंज ऑफ यूनिक स्टाइल्स एंड कलेक्शंस फ्रॉम मिंत्रा।
पाओ सबसे यूनिक लुक्स फ्रॉम 100% ओरिजिनल ब्रांड्स सिर्फ मिंत्रा पे।
Vivel এলোভেৰা আছে প্ৰাকৃতিক এলোভেৰা আৰু ভিটামিন ইৰ হট গুণ ই ছালখনক কৰি তোলে কোমলতকৈও কোমল। Vivel এলোভেৰা
সুগন্ধ ৰং আৰু সোৱাদ খাটি এভৰিডে দিয়ে আহাৰৰ জুতি। এভৰিডে স্পাইচেছ 100% টেষ্ট। এভৰিডে স্পাইচেছ বেষ্ট।
All right, we'll straight away go to our editor-in-chief Wasbir Hussain in the newsroom and our reporter Arindam Das from Tura.
Big breaking story at this hour. The Meghalaya DGP addressed a press conference a short while ago, made some sensational claims saying that yesterday's attack in Tura was a direct attack on Chief Minister Conrad Sangma, that it was pre-planned and it was an attempt to physically harm him to the extent of murder. Extreme step. That was what the Meghalaya DGP had said. Meghalaya DGP saying that this was a pre-planned attack on Conrad Sangma that took place yesterday, that money was distributed, liquor was distributed a few days before this incident. And that it was absolutely pre-planned, and some of the arsonists, some of the members of the mob, they had came armed with jerrycans full of kerosene and petrol and other inflammable materials. So it was absolutely pre-planned. Orindam, so you have heard this, you have visited that site, you have visited that Chief Minister's office earlier today. What do you see? I mean, there were about hundreds of people outside that office who was indulging in all kinds of attack that day. Yesterday.
That's right. The building which houses several state government offices, it was converted to a mini secretariat where the Chief Minister was holding a meeting with the protesters. He had with him another colleague of Meghalaya government, Marquis Marak. Several bureaucrats were present there when the protesters were called in, and the meeting went off on very smoothly, and there was a consensus also because the protesters agreed to come to Shillong on August 8 and 9 and hold a meeting with Meghalaya government regarding their various demands. They have basically two demands. One is of course the shifting of winter capital to Tura, and the other is clearing the backlog of the government jobs. So these are the two demands with which the protesters were on a hunger strike. And the hunger strike was exactly taking place opposite on the other side of the road of this building where this meeting was going on. And today I asked Chief Minister that don't you think that it was an intelligence failure, because how could a crowd of over 1,000 people could have gathered all of a sudden and then attack in such a way? He said that yes, I had got the intelligence inputs. It's people in the intelligence department told to me that there will be various people. I mean, Orindam, the number will be very big. And
Orindam, hold your thoughts. I am also joined by our Shillong correspondent Purbasa Bhattacharya. Purbasa, sensational statement there by Meghalaya DGP L.R. Bishnoi.
Yes, definitely, Wasbir. It is a sensational statement by Meghalaya DGP L.R. Bishnoi, where he said this was a pre-planned attempt, and it was an attempt to cause physical damage to Chief Minister Conrad Sangma up to the extent of murdering him. And you can understand the severity of the statement, and at the level of IG law and order police official has been deployed in Tura. Commandos has been sent there, and the DGP said the night curfew for time being will continue, and the state police will review the law and order situation. As of now, police.
Purbasa, hold on. Don't go away. Purbasa and Arindam, stay on. Well, the big breaking story is that night curfew is going to continue in Tura. That is what our correspondent is saying. Plus, IGP level officer has been now rushed to Tura. There are police commandos have been sent to Tura, basically enhancing the security of Chief Minister Conrad Sangma. So this is a big development at this hour, and the Meghalaya DGP with that sensational statement that the attack outside the Chief Minister's office in Tura was absolutely pre-planned. Money was distributed, liquor was distributed, and the people came armed with jerrycans of kerosene oil and other inflammable materials. They tried to attack Conrad Sangma and cause physical harm to him. So this is what. Now Conrad Sangma, of course, I had spoken to him a few minutes ago. We had played that Conrad Sangma said that he would not like to comment on it. He would leave it to the security agencies to assess the security threat. But on the whole, Arindam, have you seen additional security forces in Tura town?
That's right. 6 additional companies of BSF, 1 additional company of CRPF, and additional companies of Meghalaya Police Battalion have been deployed in and around Tura town after this violence took place. And right now I can tell you that though the situation is normal here, but an uneasy calm prevails in this hill town of Tura. We haven't seen much of traffic on the streets. You can see these are some of the busiest junctions of the Tura town, and right now the streets were a deserted look. And today when we were coming right from Paikan up to Tura, it's a 100-kilometer stretch of road, and we didn't find much of vehicle. In fact, we have gone to several places, and the vehicles are also not coming from other places. So though the situation is normal here, but an uneasy calm prevails.
Arindam, we'll come back to you in the subsequent bulletins. Don't go away. Our Hindi news bulletin is coming up. But Purbasa, before I let you go, Purbasa, the Chief Minister Conrad Sangma is returning to Shillong tomorrow. What are some of his engagements? Is he going to review the law and order situation in the state?
As of now, nobody is saying anything. Everyone is keeping their mouth shut. No one is saying anything because everything is depending on Chief Minister and his return to Shillong. But as of now, we know the Chief Minister is returning back to Shillong tomorrow, and then only we can understand. But we can say that the Chief Minister will definitely, he will have some sort of meetings to review the law and order situation. Wasbir.
Absolutely, absolutely. This is the big story. Chief Minister returning to Shillong tomorrow, and he is going to review the law and order situation with the DGP, the Chief Secretary, and other police and paramilitary officials. On the whole, this is of course a sensational disclosure that it was a pre-planned attack targeted at Chief Minister Conrad Sangma. We end this bulletin right now. Don't go away. Hindi bulletin is right back after this break.
হাৰ্ট, কোলেষ্ট্ৰল, মেদবহুলতা আৰু মধুমেহ ৰোগীৰ বাবে সৰ্বশ্ৰেষ্ঠ হৈছে পতঞ্জলি ফিজিকেলি ৰিফাইণ্ড ৰাইচ ব্ৰেন অইল আৰু কচ্চি ঘানি।